What is the weirdest advice you have heard that is strangely effective? To improve your posture, pretend that you are shooting lasers out of your nipples and trying to shoot people in the head. LMAO. When I was trying to train myself to get better confidence and stop looking at the ground whenever I walk, talk, etc. I would take walks and imagine that there are headlights coming out of my tits and I needed to shine the way. If you can't fight the fear, do it scared. Got me through a lot of anxiety. I tell myself my increased heart rate and racing thoughts are just signs that my body is priming itself to allow me to do something I didn't know I could do. I used to think they were signs to quit, but they're really an ignition sequence. Don't beat yourself up forever. Beat yourself up once then move on. Mr. Homer Simpson. When writing an email, leave the recipient field until last. How to unclog your nose. Close your mouth and pinch your nose so you can't breath. Shake your head up and down until you need to breath. Remove your hand from your nose and breath, through your nose not your mouth. Been doing this for a while now and it's pretty effective. Holding your breath for a prolonged time is extremely effective at getting rid of a boner. Instructions are clear. Do not, I repeat, do not hold your breath until you die, or you may end up getting your boner back. If looking for something in a low-light environment, try to use your peripheral vision. I read about it in an old World War II manual about aerial combat at night. It has something to do with how eyes work. It has helped me many times over the years. For finding stuff in a darkened room, or outside in a field at night, not aerial combat. Fail quickly, as in, if your plan may not succeed, better to find out next week than next year. Helped me quit a suffocating job and dig into my own business 10 out of 10. Get someone to warm to you by asking them for a small favor, not asking to do something for them, but asking them to do something for you. I have no idea why this works, but it does. Counterintuitive maybe, but it helped my anxiety immensely. In general, no one cares about you, what you're doing, or gives you a second thought once you're out of their sight. It really helped me to stop being self-conscious all the time in public. 2 from elderly Southern relatives. Something ain't nothing, taking 5 minutes to work out, clean, work on a big project, etc. is better than 0 minutes. We often think we've got to do 2 hours of rigorous work or it doesn't accomplish anything. Time will pass either way. If you want to work to get better at something, accomplish a long-term goal, or change careers or credentials, don't look at the 2 to 5 years and think you'll be too old. If you're 24 and want to go to college, you'll be 28 in 4 years with or without a degree regardless of what you do in that time. No one thinks about you as much as you do. Meaning we're all worried about people thinking about the tiniest embarrassing things we do, when no one really cares. It gave me freedom to take on more challenges and not worry about failure. Rinse your cereal bowl straight away. That stuff sets like concrete. But I was just about to eat the cereal. It's only embarrassing if you're embarrassed. The older I get, the more I understand this one. Edit. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the awards and feedback. Don't give excuses unless they ask for it. I.e., if you are late for work, just say that you are late. Not why you are late. For all my ADHDers or other who struggle with executive function, do chores while waiting. Have something in the oven? Let's see how much laundry you can fold before the timer goes off. Microwave? I bet you can empty the dishwasher in 90 seconds. On a phone call? Pop in those earbuds and let's tidy while we talk. I get so hung up on waiting MODE, and the novelty of trying to accomplish a small task during that interim feels a bit like a deadline pressure, which is basically the only thing that motivates me. Tricking my brain into a mini-productive panic is startlingly effective. Sucking at something is the first step to being sorta good at something. Honestly, it's deflated the embarrassment of making mistakes when learning new things. It's okay to suck at something on your way to okayness. If you want to buy something, wait 24 hours, and if you still want to buy it afterwards, then buy it. This has really cut my impulse buying down and has made saving money extremely easy. People don't always remember what you say but how you make them feel. I built the bridge that connects our town with the nearby city, but do they call me Tom the Bridge Builder? No. I set up the local fire brigade, but do they call me Tom the firefighter? No. I do home repairs for my neighbors whenever they ask, but do they call me Tom the handyman? No. But you fuck one goat. When you are really, really down, the rules of how one does things are out the window. Examples. Body image issues? Shower in the dark, can't manage to make yourself a sandwich? Eat sandwich component out of the fridge, dirty laundry everywhere? Take off the laundry basket lid, can't talk on the phone? Make up phone persona and roleplay them. Include catchphrase. Going to bed makes you nervous? Sleep on the couch. Can't make up your mind about gifted clutter? Put in box. Get back if you miss it, gift if not. Brains are really, really weird. Sometimes the smallest thing can be a barrier that is impossible to overcome. Remove barrier. Get through that terrible week like a well-fed, clean-smelling human. Build back from there. Make them tell you no. It's great when you're not sure if you should apply for a job, go for a promotion or a raise, or do something you're afraid of. Don't be so worried about getting told no or failing, you'll surprise yourself. This is one I came up with to explain my self-esteem. You can't sad your ugly away. I woke up one day after years of torment, a lot of which from myself, and realized that being upset about how I look won't make me any prettier, so I may as well just own my looks. I can fix what I can, but being upset about it ain't gonna do shit. May as well love my fugly self. Loving myself when I felt no one else would, and being happy and enjoying life despite it all. It really is the greatest revenge I could come up with. I tell my daughter to add the word yet after anything about lacking something. I don't know how to play this game. Becomes I don't know how to play this game yet. That sort of thing. It's meant to redirect negative self-admonishment into a drive to grow and learn. And apparently it's sinking in, because she will say something like, I can't make it up this hill. While we're out bike riding, and then catch me looking at her, give a big eye roll and go, "Yet." In the exact tone you think a teenage girl would use. Then she ends up sometimes just rage succeeding to prove the point. It's great. She's going to be at least 3 times better than me, low as that bar may be. Put a small stool under your feet when pooping, to mimic the natural squatting position. Changed my life, literally. During the first week after my discovery I had a strong urge to tell all my family and friends about it, but had to restrain myself because of how weird that would sound. So instead I'm sharing this advice with you. Blinking twice when reading info from textbooks to sort of mimic photographic memory. Works for me for some reason. You know, sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. Just literally 20 seconds of just embarrassing bravery. And I promise you, something great will come of it. Benjamin me, we bought a zoo. Do jazz hands in front of wasps and they'll fly away. You'll look like an idiot, but it's working. Edit. English is not my first language, so don't be rude, don't wave your hands like a maniac. I'm talking about calm jazz hands. I learned that they'll focus on your fingertips and get confused, so they'll leave you alone. Don't kick a hive and try it, it's working for a small amount of wasps. Also I'm from Europe, so I don't know for big-ass murder wasps from other countries. And no, it's not working for mosquitoes. Wash your clothes with vinegar to remove smells. If you forget wet clothes in the washing machine for too long they'll smell like mildew. Washing them again doesn't really take the smell away, for as many times as you try. Wash them again with approximately 1 liter of white vinegar, no detergent. Do not use balsamic vinegar or whatever, and somehow the end result won't smell to mildew nor vinegar, just like pure clean washed clothes. I expected the vinegar smell to remain, but those clothes were a write-off on my book, so I tried anyway and they came out perfectly. Edit. I just grabbed a 2-liter bottle and poured a bit under half and it worked. But as other comment, just a cup also works. I guess I was adventurous on an all or nothing and poured a lot. Edit 2. OFC I tried washing them again, but the mildew smell would just not go away. Let's just say they sat forgotten for way too long wet in the machine. There was a guy the first met at a family-friendly pub once. He was busking and he had a straw sun hat, and mismatched socks. He chatted to my family and came to learn I was deaf and wrote me a letter that says, "Sometimes it's better to be deaf, because the world isn't listening." And for some reason that's always stuck with me. My mother always said go back to basics whenever I was struggling mentally. I disregarded it for years, but now I live by it. I only utilize this way of living during desperate survival times, but it's amazing advice. Basically, in other words, focus on what matters. If I was in a major depressive state, can barely function, it would mean don't feel guilty about simply surviving until you're back on your feet. Just do what you have to do and get through the day. During my manic states, it would mean focus on what matters and don't fly off the handles. It was practical advice whilst simultaneously empathizing with me. I always dismissed it because she kept saying it and I thought it was just a cop-out, but I've since realized it's some of the best advice for anyone that's struggling to maintain their sanity during chaotic, or seemingly chaotic, times. P.S. Basics might include getting out of bed, having a shower, eating some lunch and drinking some water. Maybe try to enjoy a coffee. If you're up to it, maybe try and clean the kitchen and/or do a little bit of laundry. Even if you just get done the bare minimum and then crawl back into bed, that's a job well done because you made it through the day. Anger and remorse are shadow companions, with remorse always a step behind. I took control over my temper issues by reminding me of this one-liner. Hope this works for you, too. Do it anyway. Don't think you'll succeed? Do it anyway. Don't feel like going to the gym? Do it anyway. Don't want to stick to the diet? Do it anyway. Don't feel like getting out of bed, taking care of your basic needs? Do it anyway. Don't think you'll like it? Do it anyway. Scared of embarrassing yourself? Do it anyway. Think the attractive person will reject you if you ask them out? Do it anyway. Obviously don't apply this to things that put you in harm's way. But I've been lucky enough to live an interesting, in a good way, life based on this approach.